is only on fire. You are the teacher. Yeah, you take the torch and I'll follow the leader. Yeah, you be my master and I'll be your fever. You told me your past was taken by thieves. And since then you've been running in search of release. You don't know when it's coming. Well, I don't know either. So you be my master and I'll be your fever. Now angels are singing words written for you. Trumpets are telling of your beauty and truth. But you've been working it out for yourself like some overachiever. So just be my master and I'll be your fever. Your nearness is all I need, no more or no less. Your Highness, I bow to thee, and to thee this I confess. I was lost in a forest, but now I'm a believer. So you be my master, and I'll be your fever. So do what you did yesterday, go on, repeat it. 'Cause my heart is only on fire when you are the teacher. But you take the torch and I'll follow the leader. Yeah, you be my master and I'll be your fever. You be my master and I'll be your fever. You be my master and I'll be your fever.
I love the sound of the kettle drum in the morning. That's a band called The Villagers, and that's a song called The Pact. I'll be your favourite. Do you hear me?
I like that.
It's good,
I
wasn't
like
it?
that. And fun enough, you said the kettle drum. I said that's what I was listening to at the end there. I said that's great. There, it's a nice sound.
The kettle drum stands
I
out.
like that. Could I get a copy of that?
Yeah, I'm afraid
Could
not.
I get a copy of that?
I have
please?
only one copy, I'm afraid now.
That's good.
I'm keeping it because I
good.
need it for further programmes. Do you hear me today?
I like that. Where are they from?
I do believe they're English.
They're very nice.
Speaking
very
of which,
nice.
did you watch the Golden Globes last night? Hello? Did you watch... That's a simple enough question. It seems to have occasioned some mirth on your part. Let me repeat that. In case you've... could you put the stopper on the nitrous oxide in there, please? The laughing gas. Did you watch the Golden Globes last night?
What do you think?
I take it from your sneering laugh that the answer is no. No, but do you not realise what's going on? There's something very interesting going on which you're not aware of because you're too busy sniggering in the corner. Yeah. What you're realising is it's time Americans stood up and were nasty to English people who are slagging them. It's time it was stopped. Ricky Gervais, how unfunny is he? Ricky Gervais stood up last night in front of the Golden Globes audience and treated them all like dirt. He really, really did. You see, Americans are very strange like that. They have never experienced this before. Last year, he went up and he insulted them very badly. He just didn't insult them last night. He just was cheeky to them, and he wasn't funny. But the thing about that is, it's most interesting. See, English people are different from Americans. See, Americans secretly admire English people, and the reason why they secretly admire them...
Who would run that past me again? Americans secretly?
They look up to English people because they think that they're smarter than they are, right? And it's not true. But the one thing that is true is that English people are more educated than Americans because the Americans are generally very badly educated because there's no money put into education, and only the rich get a good education if they really want one. If you have a standard education in America, you'll end up stupid, ended up in the army, gone out in Iraq or something like that. But if you have a standard education in England and you're bright, you will benefit from it. But very few Americans benefit from their education. So they don't have a rounded education. So whenever they meet someone who knows and can express themselves and is confident, they feel a little bit intimidated. And when they hear a kind of a swanky accent, like an English accent, they feel as if the English people are smarter than they are, but they're not smarter, they're just educated. Now, English people, they sense this, so they give Americans a hard time. And the thing about Americans is that Americans are nicer people generally. Speaking generally, they are nicer people than English people. They're far more polite and they're far more considerate than English people. So you get people who are considerate and nice, who don't feel as if they're terribly educated, and they meet people who are educated who aren't nice, namely Ricky Gervais and Russell Brand. Of course, Russell Brand, I don't mind Russell Brand because Russell Brand isn't as bad as Ricky Gervais. At least Russell Brand is funny. Ricky Gervais is not funny. And I'm finished now.
Part 2 of the Anderson lecture will be after the news at 11.
He will play a record shortly, and then afterwards he'll give you more of his considerations. I don't know. I just felt strongly as if somebody should say that. Because I lived among Americans and I know what they think. They think that they're not as smart as English people, but they are far smarter and they're nicer and they're more experienced and they're more used to getting on with people. English people generally tend to be more cheeky and more self-centred, but English people are more educated, which is why they have the drop on the Americans, which is why the Americans feel inferior. If you watch the Golden Globe,
sit down and watch that program
for that reason? Don't you understand? You see, there's more to life. I know.
Do I have to do that as part of my course?
Yes, you do. And I know you would watch it if it was the Golden Golf Balls, but it's not. The
no,
Golden
I wouldn't
golf
watch
balls.
it. No,
I
can't. I can't watch.
Well, how can you call yourself an anthropologist?
I'm not an I'm an apprentice anthropologist.
How can you consider yourself to be an apprentice anthropologist if you express no interest in the behaviour of people?
I didn't realize I had to watch it. I didn't realize it was part of my course.
Stop laughing whenever someone suggests that you should have watched something. That's the first thing you must learn. In other words, if you're a lecturer, right, you're going to have to go to some lectures. You know, in your second year,
right,
you're going to have to go to some lectures. Now, here's what I suggest you don't do, right? You get a little module, a 201, social anthropology, right? And you look at this and you say, 10 o'clock, say, maybe you go up to Coleraine, maybe you go to Queen's University, maybe you go to Jordanstown, maybe you go to Trinity, maybe you go to Oxford, maybe you go to Cambridge, maybe you go to Redbrick University. Let's say you go to Coleraine.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier.
Yes.
We won't go down that road. Okay?
No.
So you go Coleraine. You've got a little module, 201, social anthropology. Lecture 1, conch shell gathering in the Trobriand Islands. Are you going to laugh?
I'm not going to scratch my head and say, well,
no, but are you going to laugh?
No.
No, but if a fellow walks in with a conch.
Oh, no.
He takes a conch out.
Right.
Do you know what a conch is?
No.
You see.
You're right.
It's a big seashell.
Yeah.
No big, huge ones you get in the tropics. You put it up to your ear and it goes, do, 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 do. No, it doesn't go like that, but you hear the sea in it. Do you know the way when you go down to the seaside and you put... Anyway, that's the conch shell. See, the Trobriand Islanders had no money, so to speak of, no coinage, or nor did they use pearls or precious metals. Can you blow into them? You can, but they didn't. They used them as currency, so they exchanged them.
Right.
So the lecture's conch shell exchange in the Trobriand Islanders. But see, if I give that to you and I said, listen, you're going to that lecture today, would you laugh the same way as you laughed when I talked about the Golden Globes?
But I know I don't want to see people pretending to be surprised, like Meryl Streep and people like I go, whoa, me, am I nominated? Oh, jeepers.
Are you a student of human behaviour? Are you a student of human behaviour?
But do you not think I'm advanced?
No, I think.
Do you not think that I cannot take crap. I can't take that falseness. See all this, saying how wonderful you are and hello, darling. Oh, marvelous, and you're great. I can't take that.
But you're going to have to learn to take it because that's essential human behaviour.
People hugging you.
Yeah, I love people hugging me.
No, I don't like that.
But I don't like to go too far the first time.
No, but I don't like all that, and then all this. I'd like to dedicate this to Mom and to Pa and Gran and for all the people who helped me in my career when I was a little boy.
The best one I thought, stop that. The best one I thought was Dustin Hoffman, who came up and he said, I'd like to thank my mother and God for enabling me to go up and read these nominations.
Well, that's good.
That was good.
That's all right.
No, but he was okay. So he was
But
in the
I
spirit
think,
of
do
it.
you not think Ricky
But nobody
Gervais,
laughed. Nobody laughed at them.
But do you not think Ricky Gervais is saying this is a load of nonsense?
No,
I'm going to treat this the
no,
way
no.
it is a load of nonsense.
No, he's not.
And it should not be made into a television program.
No, it's not.
It should not
No.
be brought into people's homes.
No,
That's
no.
for people with huge egos sitting in a room, slapping one another in the back, and there's nothing worse than people saying to one another in the business, "You're great," or "You're better than me." No, you are wonderful. You see through that. We don't need that.
If in the New Year's honours list,
Yes.
if you were offered an OBE, would you take it?
Whenever that happens, I'll make a decision.
Ask me. Go on. Ask
If
me.
in the New Year's honours list and you're offered a no BE, will you take it?
Yes.
Well, that's okay.
Do you know why? Never look a gift horse in the mouth.
Right. Well,
If somebody says to you, would you like something nice? Always say yes. Always say yes. And that's the way I lived my life. And if you're nominated for an award and the fella says, I think you're really good, take this award. You're not going to say, I don't want your award.
I wouldn't
hate
take
awards.
it. I wouldn't take it.
You were never offered one.
I wouldn't take it.
You were never offered one. You were never offered one.
That's true.
I know, but you see, that's why you said
But
you
I
wouldn't
couldn't
take
go along to that ceremony.
I've accepted all my awards with
I
grace.
couldn't go along and people, oh, you're great, you're a great boy.
No, the point.
You're just doing your
I understand
job.
what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and there is an element of that. But the thing that annoys me is that I don't mind being offensive as long as I'm funny. There's nothing wrong with being offensive.
Yes.
It's wrong if you're offensive and not funny. But if you think you're funny but you're not, you're just offensive.
You see,
I'm not giving out here. I'm
No.
just saying he's such a wee shite.
Do you know what you talked about before
Yes.
on this program?
Yes.
The
Let's start the program.
No.
Go on, there are
Before you
people
start
listening.
before you
No, there
start,
are people listening.
Before you start the program, before you give
Yes.
out the spiel, you know that
Spiel? Spiel?
you always give your spiel,
It's not spiel. It's me talking.
right? Do you know that where you bring people along and you insult them? What's that called? Burning or
Roast.
roasting?
Close.
Let's burn Anderson tonight.
What are you, by Joan of Arc?
Right.
Let's burn the
No.
heretic. No, let's just roast him.
That's funny.
Yeah,
when
that's
you get
funny.
the right people doing
No,
it.
that's right. But do you remember there was some Channel 5 or somebody tried that and it wasn't
Well,
funny?
they
had
tried
boys
to
like,
think-
they had people like Paddy Keelty on.
And they tried England.
You can't do that.
That's
you see,
right.
that's the thing. English people can't do that.
But if Ricky
Americans can do
Gervais
that.
had a little trace of that,
No, but he was no good.
But
You see,
he-
the whole difference is that he's not funny.
has he tried to make that into a roast?
Yes, yes.
And
you
he
see,
can't do it.
You see, Americans know it's a kind of a Jewish thing, and I hope people aren't offended when I said it's Jewish humour, which is very like Irish humour. Do you know the way we banter
Jewish
each
humour
other?
is the best.
It's the best.
It is the
Irish humour is very like Jewish humour because we banter each other,
Yeah.
and it just falls short of insult, but it's funny. English people can't do that. They can't do that. They don't know when to stop, and it becomes offensive. Irish people can do that, and Americans can do it, but English people can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start the program.
Are you
Good
sure?
morning. I'm ready to start. Good morning,
They weren't kettle drums.
What
They
were
were
they?
timpani. It
All
says
right,
here.
timpanis. All right,
right.
okay.
All
How does the
right.
person know that?
The man says he's a drummer. I'm a drummer, he says.
Uh-huh.
But what's the difference in kettle timpani and the Jamaican brass drum? What do you call that thing?
It's called a kettle drum.
Is that the kettle? Is that
Yes.
a kettle drum? Is it? No, I'm talking about the big oil can, the big oil drum, the
That's
big
a kettle.
oil drum,
It's a steel drum, yeah.
the steel drum. That's the word.
Same
I
thing,
Well,
steel drum,
what's the
kettle
difference?
drum.
A steel drum and a kettle drum. Because
don't
kettle
know.
drum's a big a kettle drum you have in an orchestra, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
And
Timpani's
timpani's orchestra.
different. Timpani's different.
Timpani's
There's a
orchestra.
skin. There's a skin on it.
Yeah, but what's the?
I don't know.
Were
What
they,
are you asking me
were they
stuff
not
like that
steel
for?
drums?
They were steel drums, I thought, played in that record.
That's
don't
what
think
I
they were
thought.
Timpanis. So I'd
But
have
you,
to
so
argue.
is a steel drum different from a timpani drum?
Yes, it is. Of course it is.
Yes,
but I don't
yes.
know how different a kettle drum is from a steel drum.
No, neither do
But
I.
all I do know is that a timpani drum is different from a kettle drum or a...
No, they're
Why
three
are you
different.
starting this?
They're three different drums.
Yeah, 3 different drums.
Yeah, well, I thought the drum
I
that
know
we
about
listened
2 of
to
them, but I
was
don't.
steel.
I don't know. I don't know what a kettle drum is. All right, you got it out of me. I don't know what a kettle drum is. I know what a steel drum is, and I know what a timpani is, but I don't know what a kettle drum is. You've got me. A gentleman's living in Perth. and
Is
he's
there?
Yes.
Cheapers.
And he says he's having a good laugh, and his name is Monty. Your father's name is Monty.
Monty what?
Robert Montgomery. He's originally from Carnmoney, above Campsie. No, car money above Campsie. He wants to say hello to everyone. He's listening at the undertone has screamed. Listen to the undertone screaming.
He
I
knows
know
him.
Yeah,
He knows him. What do you call him again?
Monty. Yeah.
What is he again? Tell me his name. Montgomery. What's his? Give me his name.
What Montgomery is that?
No, but what?
Robert Montgomery.
I wonder are they anything to the Montgomerys that own the Campsie paper company?
I really don't
Wonder
know.
are they anything?
No,
I know an Alan Montgomery,
Is that right?
and he's known as Monty.
Is that a fact?
Yeah,
That's
they
great.
were involved heavily with Limavady
County
cricket.
Council.
No, cricket.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Is that the same Montgomerys?
I don't know. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. It's a great pleasure to be here in the morning. I know I don't sound myself. I'm not well, but
There's nothing wrong with me 15 minutes ago.
I tried myself here because I feel as if the people need me. Because there's a lot of badness in the world today. Do you know that 4 people a day in Northern Ireland are going bankrupt? And what's the punchline to that? They're getting fed up.
Leave Northern Ireland.
No, they're getting fed up with it. No, seriously, 4 people are going bankrupt every day. And I'm going to tell you something else. This is a terrible blow. And it's a terrible, it's a terrible thing to contemplate that you and I could be one of them. But of course, nobody in the BBC ever goes bankrupt because the BBC won't allow it. And do you know how much it costs to go bankrupt?
No.
Up to £1,000. Isn't that the ultimate insult? Can you
What do
imagine?
you mean?
It costs you £1,000 to go bankrupt.
So if you, wait a minute, if I,
Yes.
if I go to court,
Yes.
I say I want declared.
Up
Do
to-
you
up-
declare yourself bankrupt?
Yes, but there's a procedure. You have to go through things, and there's a fee for it. It charges.
Sure, how do you pay it?
Exactly. Catch 22. So you go up and you say, listen, I have no money now. What am I going to do? I'm afraid, sir, you've only one course of action. What'll I do? You'll have to go bankrupt. But sure, but how? What'll that mean? And he tells you what that means. You won't be able to do this and that. Won't be able to have a bank account. You'll have no money. Okay, well, I'm prepared to do it because I have no money at all. Okay, you're prepared to go bankrupt? I have to have no choice. Okay, that'll be £1,000, sir. What do you do then?
No.
Hey?
As we call
Get a
for
loan
you.
out of the credit union. I'm enjoying myself today. Listen,
You
my
see,
voice
you
is
forgot.
gone.
You see, you forgot yourself.
I forgot I was sick.
Yes.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Gerry. Are you well?
No, I'm not actually.
You don't sound.
Really,
You sound
what a great
ever
question.
since
Great
I
line
did
that
the
man
pre-term,
fed you.
Okay. No, I'm all right. Just got a wee tick in my throat. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, firstly, I phoned you for something else, but I just want to offer a quick word of caution. A few minutes ago, yourself and Sean were talking about roasting, and you
Yes.
should probably proceed with caution because that can be taken another way, and that is something that Premiership footballers do and get themselves in the newspaper for.
Absolutely
that's-
right. Yes.
That's another story, and probably something that shouldn't be discussed on a family show like this.
We shall not go down that road. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
but,
but
being a man of the world, I know whereof you speak.
Right, but secondly, the reason I phoned you was because you played a fantastic song, the first song in the show there by Villagers.
Yes.
And you did mention when Sean asked if the Villagers were from England.
Yes.
And in fact, they're not. They're from Dublin.
They are not. Are they? Oh, excuse me.
They are. And in fact, that young man that sings is called Conor O'Brien, and he just recently won an Ivor Novello award.
You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, that was a mistake on my part. I was thinking. Do you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of Mumford and Sons. I really was because you know
And
that's
they're American, are they not?
No, they're English.
Oh well, yeah.
But that's what was in my head. I confused the two bands. You're absolutely right. They won an Ivor Novello award, and he wrote that song, "The Pact I'll Be Your Fever." Conor J.
And
O'Brien.
it's a fantastic song.
Yes.
It's a great album. It's an absolutely
Yes,
wonderful album.
yes, I must
one of my
apologise.
favourites.
I must apologise for misleading the public. And
No,
they're
it's quite all right. I just thought that a man with your broad musical horizons and knowledge would be
Absolutely.
happy to know that they were from Dublin.
Absolutely, because I know for a fact that they played in the Custom House Square last June.
They did, and I was there. They did, and they were fantastic. And the year before that, they played in Black Box in Belfast, which is
There you are,
a
you see.
small venue,
And they
which
were
was even
nominated.
better.
They were nominated for a Mercury Prize. Did they? I think they won that. Did they? Do you know?
I don't think they did. I don't think they did. They were nominated for it, but didn't win it.
Another song called "Becoming a Jackal."
Was the song that they won the Ivor Novello Award for.
That's right.
And I think that's also the name of the album, Becoming a Jackal. But,
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be corrected by your good self because that was no seriously.
You're
No
more than
seriously.
welcome, Gerry. Thank you very much.
I
Have
don't
a nice
mind.
day.
I don't mind being corrected. That was a bad gaffe on my part. Thank you very
Oh
much.
no,
indeed.
you're quite all right. All right, cheers now. Bye.
Keep it real.
Bye.
Keep it
cheers.
real. Hear me saying, keep it real.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
I thought that ended a little premature.
I was embarrassed.
But you shouldn't be.
I was embarrassed because I was wrong. I take great pride in my music, and when I get something wrong...
I'll tell you something, in all the years I'm sitting here looking at you, that's the first time I've heard you wrong. So, nothing to be ashamed
No,
of.
I've been wrong before, but I've never admitted it.
Have you?
No, yes. I've known...
You've lied to me?
I have
and
lied
to
to you.
And to
yes,
the
indeed.
listeners?
Not often, but there have been times when I've known that I've been not entirely 100% correct, but carried on anyway. So when I'm pulled up like that, I have to say, mea culpa, and inevitably, mea maxima culpa, which is what I must say. God bless that man. This is what I always play whenever I feel down. It's the Weepies.
Tangerines are hanging heavy.
You made me down today.
Glowing marigold and hues, teasing a half-pale moon, and I feel a pull to the blue velvet dark and stars, stars, stars. Pink magnolia, blushing and coy, savors the sun while she shines. You've got yours and I've got mine. Together we glide through the blue velvet dark and stars, stars, stars. All it takes is a little faith and a lot of heart. Back and forth we ply these oars, they move in time and get entwined. Green with joy, then gray with sorrow, ripened fruit that falls tomorrow, filling us with brilliance. Branches are bare with a pulse underneath, flowering slowly inside. Your hands are warm and my body is wide to hold all the promise of blue velvet dark and stars, stars, stars. All it takes is a little faith and a lot of heart, sweetheart.
This ain't gonna be a love song, Barbara. This ain't gonna be the one for you. This is gonna be the one for Elaine. Don't waste time thinking rhyme and reason. Don't waste time looking for a clue. This love song's gonna drive you insane. 'Cause you can't fight for a boy in the harbor bar, sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. This ain't gonna be a love song, Barbara. This ain't gonna be the one for you. This is gonna be the one for Elaine. Don't waste time thinking rhyme and reason. Don't waste time looking for a clue. This love song's gonna drive you insane. 'Cause you can't fight for a boy in the harbor bar, sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. 'Cause you can't fight for a boy in the harbor bar, sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. You're a delinquent and you'll never go far. sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. You're a delinquent and you'll never go far. Sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. You're a delinquent and you'll never go far. You've been getting it on with all the boys in the neighborhood, and now it seems you're all alone, living in shame. You've been given a lonely sentence accurately, with no one wait for you on the outside. A couple of years till the stigma clears. This ain't gonna be a love song, Barbara. This ain't gonna be the one for you. This is gonna be the one for Elaine. Don't waste time thinking rhyme and reason. Don't waste time looking for a clue. This love song's gonna drive you insane. 'Cause you can't fight for a boy in the harbor bar, sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. 'Cause you can't fight for a boy in the harbor bar, sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. You're a delinquent and you'll never go far. Sipping on a drink, get it on in his car. You're a delinquent and you'll never go far. 'Cause you can't fight for a boy in the harbor bar, sipping on a drink, get it on in his car.
What a magnificent record that is. That's a local, I repeat, singer-songwriter. His name is Best Boy Grip, not his real name, of course, and that's a song called Barbara, and that is available on iTunes. Best Boy Grip, the song is called Barbara, and I think it's fantastic. Listen to the guitar and that and everything. Before that, an equally good record, but American that time, from a band called The Weepies, from an album called Say I Am You, and the song was called Stars. Don't forget, if you want to contact this programme, number to ring is 08459 555 678. Email address, which only my eyes can see, which is thankful, gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. We'll be back after the news at 3 or 4 minutes past 11.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
At the news desk at 11 o'clock, it's Sabrina Sweeney. Homes have been evacuated and a primary school closed for the day as security forces deal with a bomb alert in West Belfast. The Glen Road between Kennedy Way and Coolnasilla Park has been closed after a suspicious object was discovered while the emergency services were dealing with a fire in the area. Our reporter Kevin Sharkey is there.
Bomb disposal experts are examining the device. It was found early this morning close to where a shop was burned down during the night. The cause of the fire isn't known yet, and it's not known if the two incidents are linked. Some people are still out of their homes and roads are still closed. Some care workers can't get through the cordons to bring help to elderly people living alone.
The police in Londonderry say they're treating an incident in the Waterside as sectarian. A 35-year-old Filipino woman was alone in her home when two men smashed doors and windows of the house at Montgomery Close. Her partner, a Catholic, was out when the attack happened last Thursday. The couple have told SDLP MLA Mark Durkin that they're too scared to return to their home.
They started smashing windows and the front door with golf clubs. The poor lady was petrified and actually barricaded herself in her bedroom. I mean, she's still hugely traumatised by this incident, so much so she is not only refusing to return home, but she has also left her job, which is in that vicinity as well, because she won't even go back there to work.
The European Court of Human Rights has ruled that Britain's most dangerous killers can be kept in jail until they die. It rejected claims by Jeremy Bamber, who was convicted of murdering his family and two other prisoners, that whole life tariffs amounted to inhuman and degrading treatment. Inflation dropped sharply last month from 4.8 to 4.2%. The Consumer Prices Index rate is still more than double the Bank of England's target rate. Well, it's time now to get the sports news with Michael McNamee.
England pair Matt Pryor and Graham Swan have fought back in the first test against Pakistan. They've put on 45 for the 8th wicket in Dubai, but England are still struggling on 139 for 7 at tea. Glentoran caretaker boss Roy Coyle has stated he will only stay in the role until Scott Young's replacement is found. Coyle blames the players for letting Young down on Saturday against Newington. Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill says Sunderland's James McLean should be allowed to decide where his international future lies. Ipswich Town have offered a new 3-year contract to Northern Ireland winger Josh Carson, and Andy Murray is into the second round of the Australian Open tennis after beating the American Ryan Harrison.
And now with the weather forecast, here's Lindsay Armstrong.
Cloud will continue to thicken from the west and it'll bring some patchy light rain or drizzle into Fermanagh and Tyrone. It'll then spread elsewhere, but it will lose its intensity quite quickly. The cloud will break up and this afternoon looks dry for the most part. It's still breezy though, and with the lack of any sunshine, it'll feel cool as temperatures reach just 9 degrees.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Part of the Glen Road in West Belfast remains closed due to an ongoing security alert. In the meantime, metro services are being diverted along Shaws Road, Andersonstown Road and Kennedy Way. As a result, traffic's very heavy on the Andersonstown Road heading into Belfast. Meanwhile, in the north of the city, resurfacing is taking place on the Upper Crumlin Road just below the Horseshoe Bend. Expect delays there during peak times. And in County Tyrone, part of the A42 Gulladuff Road will be closed from 7 until 9 p.m. tonight as police carry out a reconstruction of a fatal collision there from last November. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, Bon Marché, Peacocks, Pastimes, all in trouble. Are they just the first of many? Do you shop on them? What'll be left on our high streets by the end of the year? Carjacking as 2 more women are attacked. Is this copycat crime? What can be done to nip it in the bud? And are you taking extra care driving in the city? Chinese gymnasts, Aussie boxers already coming here to train. Anyone else for the Olympics? Could mojitos be on the cards? We'll talk to the local brother and sister who pocketed 125k on the £1 million drop. And David and Sam can do it. Do you still have a date night? Tell me on Talkback at 12.
Yes, Wendy, peacocks in trouble. They may go the same way as the corncrake.
Somehow I will know. Someday when I'm lonely, wishing you weren't so far away, then I will remember things we said today. You say you'll be mine, girl, till the end of time. These days, such a kind girl seems so hard to find. Someday when we're dreaming, deep in love, not a lot to say, then we will remember things we said today. Me, I'm just a lucky guy. Love to hear you say that love is love, and though we may be blind, love is here to stay, and that's enough to make you mine.
Let's run away. Get out, get away from these lies, 'cause they don't get your soul or your fire. That would be the best therapy for me. Sing tonight. Take my hand. Together we'll be the perfect soulmate. Not your fingers through mine. I'm trying to keep you in my head. Those would be the best memories. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me? Just forget the world. Tell me that you'll open your eyes. I swear every day it'll be okay. Please don't go. Would you lie with me? Just you and me tonight. Make me wanna say, live this way before. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? This is true. If you feel the way I do these, baby, let's take this time. Let's make you memories. Let's run away. On. Running from tomorrow with our lips like we can do what we like. Baby, let's take this time. Me and you are meant to be together. Every minute from this minute now. This is the time of my life. Got me like begging, begging, begging. Baby, let me love you down. If it's alright with you, if I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me? Just forget the world. Tell me that you'll open your eyes. I swear every day it'll be okay. Please don't go. Would you lie with me? Just you and me tonight. Make me wanna say, live this way before. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? This is true. If you feel the way I do these, baby, let's take this time. Let's make you memories. I want so much to open your eyes, 'cause I need you to look into mine. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me? Just forget the world. Tell me that you'll open your eyes. I swear every day it'll be okay. Please don't go. Would you lie with me? Just you and me tonight. Make me wanna say, live this way before. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? This is true. If you feel the way I do these, baby, let's take this time. Let's make you memories.
That's one of the better mashups. I like slipping that in every now and again, featuring our own Gerry Lightbody and, of course, the ex-Mrs. Russell Brand and various other people. And before that, what did I play before that?
Emma didn't like it.
I know Emma doesn't like anything. She's pregnant now. She's not the same as ordinary people. She sees everything differently. All she wants to do is eat grub. I don't mean that in any kind of negative sense. Before that was
sounded harsh.
It sounded harsh, I know, but why
did you turn our headphones up?
No, I never touched anything belonging to you. I'm afraid to get something. And that was called, the one before that was Dwight Yoakam and a song he recorded in 1997, a Beatles song called Things We Said Today. Remember how quickly we forget? We've forgotten about the Beatles now. It's all gone. People have forgotten about the Beatles now.
No, I haven't.
I know, but you're locked in the past.
I like the Beatles.
I was listening to your programme the other day. I was driving along and I heard you.
You've no right to listen.
And I sometimes
don't you dare listen quietly. I hit you. I hit you know that. Because I know rightly you're sitting laughing.
I am, yes.
Yeah, so what did you hear? Come on.
Take a message to Martha.
Oh, it was yesterday.
That's right. Adam Faith.
The reason why...
You're becoming more modern. I mean, that's only 64?
Oh, no, I think it's... Is it?
Is it? That's getting very close to the present day for you.
Do you know what I like about Adam Faith? and I keep telling the story. The
Yes.
The night you had him on your program.
Yes.
He's a nice fella, a gentleman,
and alas, now gone.
Aye.
What was his last words? I know. Do you know what his last words
You
are?
don't make fun of him now.
Oh no, I'm serious.
Serious?
His last words, as reported by his girlfriend, who was with him at the time when he
stop
collapsed, and he said, "There's nothing but burp on Channel 5."
Oh, did he say that?
His last words was complaining about Channel 5. That's the
Yeah.
way I want to go.
Is
I
that
want to
right?
go. And my last words want to be, I can't watch Channel 5. That's all. That's what I want to say. Anyway.
He survived a helicopter crash.
He did, but he was never the same after it.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. No.
Yes, he
no.
was.
He was never the same.
Yes, he
after.
was. He was the same after he recovered
The
completely.
time when we met him, he was not robust.
He was all right.
He was not robust. He was okay.
What do you want him to do? Handstands?
He was not robust. He was a little bit. He had to watch himself. He had to pace himself. Do you not remember? Do you not remember? Because you wouldn't have been involved in that.
I talked to him
I
for
know,
a
but
long
but
time.
Do you know about the way he wanted to rehearse? Do you know about that kind of thing?
No. Oh, don't
he-
tell me.
He only wanted to rehearse for a short amount of time because he tired easily.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, yes. I see. You know, you don't care.
All right then.
But you talked to him, and I was very impressed by him, and I really liked him. He's a very intelligent guy and a very
Yes.
down to earth person, and it was a credit to himself, to be honest with you. And I liked him. Of all the people, I think of that generation, excuse me,
Made his money in the city.
I'm starting to talk like an old man.
I know
hear
you
me
are.
going like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember? He was one of the people that was yes he was. He was one of the Larry Parnes stable of young singers. He scoured the south of England to find young men who were good looking, who
Yeah.
could sing a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he changed all their names.
Uh-huh.
Hence Georgie Fame,
Right.
Duffy Power, Vince Eager, Adam Faith, and all those people. There's only one person who refused to have his name changed. Do you know who that was? No. Who fought it tooth and nail and eventually won. He refused to accept the name that he was given, a pop star name.
Oh, no, let me guess. Right,
I'm
please.
letting you guess.
Please
Listen to me
let
letting you guess.
Yes. Had this,
we want to throw this out to the public.
right, had this man got a number one hit?
He did.
Had he several hits?
That man has had a long career and is still going on.
And still going on.
Very much respected.
Would that man be a Londoner?
He would indeed.
Would that man have been in the Navy?
That man may have been in the Navy.
Would that man have gone to America and brought back songs from America and played a guitar in a group in a cafe?
Are you talking about Tommy Steele?
Yes.
It's not him.
Oh,
Although Tommy Steele is a very good example of another nice guy who has done very, very well, and you never see him in the papers. Ever.
That's right. Yeah, so it's not Tommy Steele.
Not him, because Tommy Steele was the name that he took up. That wasn't his real name. His name was
he was
something
Hicks.
else. Tommy
Hicks.
He decided to call himself Steele. He accepted his.
I should have known that. Why did I go for Tommy Steele when I knew his name was Hicks? That was stupid of me.
Sometimes I had a spare of you.
Yeah, so did I.
Who's this other guy who refused, kept his own name and
Right.
refused?
Did this-
I want two things. I want his name and I want the name that he refused. And I want.
Well, see,
put
how
this
would
out
I
to-
know? How would I know the name he refused?
Because maybe when you consider the person, when you find out who the person is, you will think of the name that he refused.
Had
It
this
might come
man
back.
any brothers?
He had.
Were they in the business?
No, as a matter of fact,
Yes.
that was the name of his group.
The business? The brothers?
Didn't spell it.
Joe
Didn't-
Brown?
And the brothers.
The brothers Joe Brown?
Joe
Oh,
Brown.
you give it away, sure.
I know, but you were so close.
I know.
I couldn't let you go. I was like, you're on the hook there.
Yeah.
I couldn't say, no, we had no brothers, because that would have been a wrong thing for me to say. What I should have said was he had brothers, but they were in the name of his band.
Joe Brown.
What was the name he refused?
It had to be something Joe White or something
No,
like that.
something worse than that.
But he kept
It's-
the
it's
Joe.
the-
Did he keep the Joe?
No, it was the worst name I have ever heard. And it was offered to him in all seriousness. And he threatened to leave the whole thing and said he would not tolerate it. And that was it. He was not using it. He didn't care if he was going to end up in the street on the dole. That was it.
That's
I'm not using
fair
that
play
name.
to him.
Yes. But
Right.
when you hear the name,
Right.
guess what the name was?
I can't.
Elmer Twitch.
Oh, I don't believe.
Elmer Twitch.
Is that made up? Is that you
No,
telling me?
Elmer Twitch. And the whole story is told in a great, great book, which has just been published.
Yeah.
And it's called Things Ain't What They Used to Be, the life story of Lionel Bart.
Aye.
And if anyone out there would never dream of reading a book called Things Ain't What It Used to Be, the life story of Lionel Bart, buy this book. It's wonderful. beautifully written. I can't remember now. It's about husband and wife. It's beautifully written. It is fantastic.
Okay.
It's a great, all about Lionel Barton, about that whole 50s and 60s thing.
Yeah.
And one of the things was Joe Brown and Elmer Twitch. And about what it was like then, and what Lionel Bart, sorry, what did I say, Lionel Blair? Lionel Bart.
Yes.
And I remember, I was fascinated by Lionel Bart, because Lionel Bart is probably, I would say, the most talented person ever in the British music business, and I mean the Beatles as well.
Yeah.
I interviewed Lionel Bart one time,
You
and
did?
he was the strangest guy. It was just about 2 or 3 years before he died. And he had a finger.
Yes, he had.
And he'd cut it, and it was bleeding. And he was sitting there, he was very concerned with his finger. And I was talking about all kinds of things. And I was asking him about particular songs, and he said, have a listen to this. And he went, who will buy these wonderful roses? Who will buy these flowers today? Who will buy these wonderful roses and put them in a pot for me? And I sat there and I said, Lionel Bart has just sang Who Will Buy from Oliver.
That was on your TV show.
I know.
Yeah.
I never got over that.
I know you never.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
But what
I want another TV. No one throws his away.
What about the finger?
The finger's only a red herring.
The finger wasn't cut?
The finger was cut, yeah. It cut his finger. But he was a wee bit kind of gone, you know.
But you said he had a cut finger, and then he started to sing "Who Will Buy." What, is there not a connection?
There is no connection. I don't know why I told you that. Anyway, a gentleman writes to me and he said, Gerry,
Joe Brown,
Elmer Twitch,
Elmer
Twitch,
right? Is Joe Brown good?
Joe Brown is a wonderful guitar player, and a very good singer.
That's why I'm asking.
And his daughter Sam Brown is a fine singer as well. She sings with
Joe Brown. Did you ever meet Joe Brown?
Yes, a very decent. I met him and Kenny
Lynch.
No,
he was a great pal of Kenny Lynch.
No, Lenny. What do you call the comedian? Lenny Bruce? No,
Lenny Kenny.
No, Lenny Henry.
Yeah. Lenny Kenny.
Lenny Henry.
Lenny Henry. Aye.
Lenny Henry and he.
Yes.
Lenny Henry and him were doing something together, and I met the two of them. I didn't like Lenny Henry, but I thought he was great.
Well, what changed your mind?
I don't know. I just decided to say that
because the last time you met Lenny Henry, you thought he was wonderful.
No, I forgot. Glad, Gerry. I can hardly hear you today. Are your levels off, or are you whispering? From what I can glean, I doubt the listening public is missing much. In these dark days of January, as we all face long-term bankruptcy, could you for once try and earn your money and provide some actual entertainment? You see, this is a very interesting question. See, we have to ask ourselves, what is actual entertainment? Does he want me to sing? Tell a joke? What is entertainment? What are we supposed to be doing here? Have you ever found that out? What we are supposed to be doing here?
Did you ask Terry, not Terry,
Wogan?
Adam Faith?
Yes.
Did you ever ask him about the helicopter?
Yes, I did.
Oh, wait,
privately.
Go on and tell me.
It was a private conversation.
No, it's not. It was in the paper. I read it.
Was it?
Yeah.
I asked him how he felt after the...
No,
I never asked him the circumstances.
The whole circumstance.
No, I never asked him that. I asked him, did it do him any lingering damage? And he said it did. He wasn't himself. He was Elmer Twitch. See me laughing at me.
I heard
jokes.
you laughing.
I think
the helicopter went out of control.
Spiraled out of the sky.
Yes, and there he was. It just got his pilot's license.
That's right. He was piloting it himself.
And he was up on his own. And the helicopter went out of control.
I know, but never, ever pilot a helicopter.
And
because once a helicopter, there's something wrong with it, there's nothing you can do.
Yes, but he was trying everything, and
there's nothing you can
hurting
do.
him towards the ground. And what crossed his mind? What was he thinking about? This was the point of the story. What was he thinking about?
I don't know. Tell me.
He said that he spent all his life, no money, and then he gets a break in showbiz, and he was fabulously wealthy. He was a multi-millionaire.
Yes,
he made his money from stocks and shares. And
bright guy, yeah.
Right, very.
He made his money in the city.
In the city. And he had all this money, and he says, I've got everything, and now I'm going to die.
He turned into Roy Walker?
Yeah. He says, look at my helicopter's going out of control. You're spinning round and round.
Round in the M square.
I'm going to hit the ground, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to die. Anyway, and he said, and I said, as with nothing else crossed you, I said, tell me this, as a matter of fact, did you pray? He says, I hadn't time to pray. I thought about all these knobs and all these levers and whatnot and pushing this and that. And he says, I'm going to die. And suddenly, the what do you call the thing, the helicopter, It rectified itself. Whatever went in, he got it stabilised, and he was able to land it with a bump. He didn't crash.
Yeah, but he didn't. He hurt himself.
He hurt himself. Oh yes, he hurt himself. Yeah,
himself,
but he was
yeah.
a very, very lucky boy.
But he was lucky because then he didn't talk like Raw Walker after the crash.
No, he was quite.
It didn't
lucky.
stay with him.
No, he's very small, wasn't he?
Very tiny, minuscule, almost invisible.
Yeah.
I think William Shatner's special will offer the best chance of avoiding widespread public flatlining. It's the man's criticism of this program. See, have you ever thought what we're supposed? Nobody's ever said to us what we're supposed to be doing in this program.
You could be making a rod for your own back.
What do you mean?
You're getting away with murder. Say nothing.
Maybe we should all say to hell with it and go to the pub and smoke our brains out. Oh, you can't do that anymore. There was a time you could go to a pub and smoke, but now you can't. You have to stand outside a pub and smoke your brains out and then get pneumonia. A wee male cat, white with tabby markings, has been found in Hampstead Park in Derry, Londonderry. He is being looked after at the moment by the people who found him. He has been injured.
I went with a girl who lived there.
Did you?
Hampstead Park. Yeah.
Did you open her coat? Remember you used to say. Remember they used to say. What was she like? She opened her coat.
There's a call waiting for you,
Emma. Is Emma listening?
Yes.
Emma, have you ever opened your coat? Do you know what that means? Does she may not know what that means because that's
nothing. It's nothing.
No.
No,
It's not rude. It's an
what does it mean? She means. No, it's an innocent. It's an innocent act.
It's innocent.
It's an innocent act.
What it is? What it
innocent.
is? Whenever you used to go with a girl before there were apartments and houses and cars and stuff like that, places
Back
to go to,
lanes.
and and huts with keys and things like that.
Yeah.
Whenever you walked home with a girl and you went up a kind of a back lane, that kind of thing, and
stood in the doorway.
You'd find a doorway. And you'd put your arms around her, you see, and she'd be always wearing a big coat.
And your nose was always cold.
Your nose always, like a dog. And you'd be kissing away at her, and feeling
and her nose was freezing and your nose was freezing.
You see, and then your hand would come around, you see, and you start to fiddle with the buttons of her coat. And she'd say, "Stop that, dirty Brit." See? Or else, otherwise, she'd say nothing. And then you could open the coat and you'd put your hands inside her coat. It was warmer in there. And there was things in there that you wanted. Did it? No wonder.
So Emma said she never opened her coat. No.
I don't know how she got pregnant then. Did you? Did you ever? Stop.
There's a wee call.
Ugh, stop. Here's the thing. Did anyone leave a collection pot in? What's a collection pot? A collection box, you say? Collection pot? Yeah. Are people bringing around pots now for money? Pots of money? Did anyone...
A man phoned in with a joke to me the other day in the wee show.
God, tell it.
And Janet didn't get it.
God, tell it, Roy.
Janet didn't get it.
Get Roy Walker to tell it.
Right. He says, what did I remember the joke?
Good time enough. I know her.
Fella goes into the doctor's. He says, "Doctor, I don't know what's wrong with me." And the doctor says, "Take these tablets. I don't know what they're for." Isn't that good? Janet doesn't get it.
Janet's not well.
No.
That's a good joke. I like that joke.
I like it too.
Many listeners may not get that either.
I liked it too as well.
Did anyone leave a collection pot in Maguire's chemist in Bangor? They have called the BBC asking for it to be collected, but we are not sure who left it in, they said. If it was you, can you please let us know so we can add this to your fundraising total? Really? Oh, sorry, anyone who's done that. I don't know, what does that mean? What does that mean? I have no idea what that means.
What about your call?
I don't know. Where's the call? It's confusing me. I have so many things in my head. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you? Sorry about that. I don't know your name, or else I would mention it to you. What's your name? First
Margaret.
name? Margaret. Good morning, Margaret. How are you?
Well, Gerry, I just wondered if you asked your listeners if you found a set of keys round about the city centre.
Yes.
My husband lost his door key.
Stupid old shite. Isn't he stupid? Isn't he stupid? How did he do that now?
Well, he
fell out of his pocket.
He can't remember, to tell you the truth.
Was he drink taking?
He's very hard of hearing, and he wouldn't have heard them dropping.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, love. He's not well, is he? He's got something.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right then.
And he was going down city centre, Crummick Street. And he's traced his whole way where he was yesterday, Crummick Street, city centre, post office. And the Lisburn Road bus and Tesco's, but they haven't been handed in. So I thought maybe somebody had picked him up in the street somewhere. And I was wondering if they found it.
Were they just house keys, or was it car keys as well? Were many of them? Maybe 5, 6, something like that? More?
No, just the 3.
Oh, just 3. A small bunch of keys.
Small bunch of keys.
Wasn't it kind of a key ring or
one of those you attach onto your belt.
Oh, I see.
You know.
All right, then. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So he's tried everywhere he's been, and he tried even the depot, the bus depot, but there's been nothing handed in.
Mm.
So I wonder if any of your listeners.
Do you have any other keys that you can use apart
Well,
from
I
those?
have my own.
Well, see, I wouldn't worry too much about it because even if somebody finds them, they don't know what the keys are. I hope it's not.
Yes, I know.
Is an address on them?
No.
Nah, I wouldn't worry too. I would just. Do you know what I would do? I would just get new keys cut and forget about it.
Yes.
Unless somebody rings up and says they've got it, but nobody's going to break into your house because they don't know where you live.
I know.
So don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. Sure, tell your husband to settle himself. It's not the end of the world as long as you've got the replacement keys and other ones. Get the few cut.
Right, Gerry.
But if anybody has found those, maybe put your mind at rest a little. Give us a ring here at 08459 555 678. We'll get them back to you. Okay.
Right, I'll give them.
All right, love. Best
Thank
wishes
you
to your
very
husband.
much.
Bye bye.
All the best. Enjoy
Bye.
your show.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
There's another wee call for you too.
Is there?
I'm turned into him.
I know you are. Yeah. Who do you think it might be?
I think it's Douglas.
Would it not be Douglas?
Douglas.
Did they not say Douglas up around the kind of Ulster Scott places? You know, like Ballymena around there. That kind of. No, Tolly, that there. Douglas. Douglas.
That's all right. It's Douglas. You are Douglas. That's right.
Good morning, Douglas.
Hello, Gerry.
Sorry for the debate about your name. We didn't realise you were listening. How are you?
Not so bad.
You seem in two minds there.
Pardon?
You seem in two minds.
Sorry?
You seem in two minds as to whether you're all right or not.
Right, well...
Okay, no need for that.
I wanted, when you talked about Joe Brown there...
Yes?
A song came into my head.
Yes?
From back years ago.
A picture of you.
What?
A picture of you. Is that what it was?
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
Now, it's a particularly good one in my opinion anyway.
Mm-hmm. And your opinion is what counts?
It went as follows. I'm trying to think now.
I understand, no problem. Take your time.
That yellow dress you wore when we went dancing Sunday night. That smile you gave me when the movies, when they dimmed the light. I cried in vain to waste the memory from my brain. I'll not forget you. That's what love will do. Do you remember that one?
I certainly do. That's what love will do. No,
That's what love will do.
I didn't expect him to sing there.
Yeah.
Pardon?
That was a pleasant surprise there when you broke into song. I wasn't expecting that. That's what love will do. That's one of his big hits. The other one was A Picture of You.
Right.
He had two big hits and he had other ones as well, but minor hits. But he's always been.
That didn't come into my head.
Yeah. Maybe we got that, Sean.
Hey?
John, do we have that in the box?
We can get it in the jukebox. I play it on the wee show.
Right.
Yeah, we've got it. We're going to send it to you.
Play it the wee show.
I play it the wee show. I must stop that. What am I doing?
I'm
turned into
Juliet
Roy
father.
Walker. What?
I'm Juliet Turner's father.
You're not, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, how are you, sir? How's Juliet these days? Is she okay?
She's doing the best.
She's not doing as much singing now as she used to.
But she graduated in.
Oh, I know. She decided to spend a bit more time doing her academic work, didn't she?
Right.
But she's a great singer. And will you tell her to come in and see us sometime?
Pardon?
Will you tell her to come in and sing for us sometime?
I will.
Because I love it when she comes in. She's great because she's always cheeky to me.
Pardon?
She's always cheeky to me.
Right.
And I like that.
Right.
Listen, nice to talk to you. And we'll play that for you. Do you want to play it for anybody special?
Oh, well, for Juliet.
For Juliet.
Okay. And her mother.
Sean, you get that, and her mum.
It's on its way to you.
No, there. We'll play that before the end of the programme. Joe Brown, That's What Love Will Do. You're a fine singer, you see. The genes are being carried. You're a fine singer. The genes are being carried on. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye. I didn't expect him to sing.
No, neither did I. Especially a Joe Brown song.
It's very hard to sing. They start very high.
Do they?
They do.
Joe Brown's got great hair.
He was the first guy with spiky hair.
Oh, he was great hair.
Everybody else copied him.
Well, he wasn't really spiky. He was sort of wavy.
He had a bebop gone wild.
Yes.
Young love said to me, my mother won't mind.
This is Donna Taggart.
And my father won't slight you for your lack of kind. And she stepped away from me, and this she did say: it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. She stepped away from me, and she moved through the fair, and fondly I watched her move here and move there, and then she turned homeward with one star away, as the swan in the evening moves over the lake. The people were saying no to where when, but one has a sorrow that never was said, and she smiled as she passed me with her goods and her gear, and that was the last that I saw of my dear. Last night she came to me, my true love came in, and she came in so easy, her feet made no din, and she laid her hands on me, and this she did say: it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. No, it will not be long, love, till our wedding day.
That's nice, isn't it? That's Donna Taggart from Oma, and that's it's called She Moves Through the Fair, of course, and that's from her album, which is called Celtic Lady. It wouldn't be Celtic Lady, it's Celtic Lady. Right, sorry. Gerry, could you please wish a happy 40th birthday to Downpatrick's hottest #1 fireman, Ian Mason, from all the Downpatrick fire station. Did you get that yet? Have you got that?
Got what?
How quickly you forget.
Oh, Joe Brown, it's on
Yes.
its way to you. It's there.
Oh,
You go track filer. Go through, remember that.
So we starting that again.
No, you.
Try to learn to do this again.
Yes, go track filer, right click.
Go track filer.
Right
track
click.
filer. I've got it.
Refresh.
I don't have to refresh.
Yes, you do.
Where, how do I do
right
that?
click and refresh.
Okay.
You got that?
Got it, yeah.
And then go up to the top of your wee page again, last modified or title. Click on that.
Yeah, right.
And should give you. Right?
Got it, yeah.
You see it now?
Yeah,
You
got
just
it.
drag it across into your wee box.
The wee box. Oh, it worked.
You see.
How great that is.
Right. Yeah, you are now.
I can do anything.
Could you play a wee song for the staff of Bernard Campbell Solicitors in Victoria Street in Belfast, especially the office manager, Christine Cook, and this is from their decorator.
Okay.
Do you have Red Hot Chili Peppers, please?
I have, and I'll play them later on, but I'm going to play this now for Julia Turner's father.
That yellow dress she wore when we went dancing Sunday nights. That smile you give me in the movies when they dim the lights. I've tried in vain to wash the memory from my brain. I can't forget you, and that's what love will do. That's what love will do. The spins we took together on my beat-out motorbike. The look your pa would give me when we got back late at night. I tried in vain to wash the memory from my brain. I can't forget you, and that's what love will do. That's what love will do. I never see you except now and then, but when I see you, the longing starts all over again. Put out the candle and tomorrow it burns bright again. But when I lost you, it could never be put right again. What can I do? My memory won't let go of you. I can't forget you, and that's what love will do. That's what love will do. I've tried in vain to wash the memory from my brain. I can't forget you, and that's what love will do. That's what love will do. That yellow dress you wore when we went dancing Sunday nights. That smile you give me in the movies when they dim the lights. I've tried in vain to wash the memory from my brain. I can't forget you, and that's what love will do. That's what love will do. That's what love will do.
That's Joe Brown and the Brothers. That's what love will do. Did you get the impression that his heart wasn't in that?
No, really, did you?
I got the impression that he was fed up singing that. When you can hear it like that, if you listen to it dispassionately, that was probably a song somebody said, do that, look, and that'll be a hit. He said, all right.
John in Belfast says, asks, is there any chance of getting Julia Turner's daddy to pick more music for you in the show? You see. And Margarita Campbell is in Craigavon Hospital. Hello to her, and a big thank you to all the nurse and staff there and all the doctors for looking after her so wonderfully well. All right.
After very many attempts to text your and the previous programme, I am now convinced there is a blacklist of telephone numbers. This has been sent using a different number. That's good. That proves it then. Can you please play Red Hot Chili Peppers for all the guys on the caddy crew? And I see, that's why you wanted it. Golfers, eh?
Oh.
You see? Gerry, the man that never made a mistake, never made anything. Get well soon, from Pat.
Joe the painter sends you a joke. Do you want it?
Only if it's Roy Walker.
Right, okay. Paddy stumbles across this mass baptism at the river.
Mass what?
Baptism. It's very hard to say in Roy Walker, you see.
He can't say baptism.
No, you see, it's very hard to say.
Get him to say it again.
Paddy stumbles across this baptism. You see, it's very hard to say.
Baptism.
Baptism.
Yeah.
Baptism.
Okay,
it's very hard to do it.
Don't let it beat you.
No,
Go ahead.
at the river. He walks into the river, and he stands next to the preacher. The preacher says, "Are you ready to find the Lord, my son?" And Paddy says, "I am." And the preacher puts him under the water, and he pulls him up, and he says, "Have you found the Lord, my son?" Paddy says, "No, sir." So he puts him under the water for a bit longer. He pulls him up again. He says, "Have you found the Lord, son?" Paddy says, "No." So the preacher gets Paddy and he puts him under the water for about 2 minutes. And he's worried about Paddy and he pulls him up and he says, "Have you found the Lord, son?" And Paddy says, "No." "Are you sure this is where he fell in?" That's from Joe the painter. Thank you, Joe.
Hi, Gerry. I'm 50 on Sunday. Knowing you're just over 50, have you any advice? Yes, plenty. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Gerry, could you find out about a S. Birch and Company, Belfast, Ireland, because I have found a bottle with our name on it. It's like a wine bottle. Any chance of Sean playing a Joe Brown song? There you go. We've done it already. And would you please play a nice Irish song for my wife, Gladys? She has a bad knee and she's waiting to go to hospital. She listens to the programme every day. That's from her hubby, David. Well, we played She Moved to the Fair. And I suppose maybe in retrospect we could say that that's for you. So that was for you, Gladys.
Oh, there's a good friend of ours going into hospital today to get a knee replacement.
Yes.
Willie Barrett. William Vincent Barrett. And he's going to Ballykelly to get a new knee.
That's a bad sign, isn't it?
Was it?
For us,
for us. He's the start of it.
He's
the start of it.
The start of the hospital years.
Yeah.
Our hospital years are going to start now. When your friends start to get titanium knees.
Yeah.
On the 30th of September, you met my sister Patsy and her son Connor in Belfast. You gave them a nanosecond of your time. But being the shy type, there's a couple of things they didn't say. Connor was getting married the next day to the lovely Adele. Also, he's a great fan of the programme. At work, it's the only programme that the workers listen to. They enjoy the crack between you and Sean. When the programmes end, they switch off. They don't listen to Hugo or TalkBack. Connor works in web design. Mind you, I thought that was the domain of the humble spider. Boom, boom. So would you please give him and his fellow workers, a hello from Auntie Pauline. And she wants to know, were you a teacher in a former life?
No.
No, he wasn't, no. And Michelle says, there's no difference between, here, this will clear up the drum question.
Right.
There's no difference between timpani and kettle drums. I am a drummer, but I also have a dictionary. A kettle drum is a large drum shaped like a bowl with a membrane adjustable for tension and so pitch, stretched across, also collectively called timpani. In other words, kettle drums are timpani. Timpani is a plural noun defined as kettle drums, especially when played by one musician in an orchestra. A steel drum is a percussion instrument originating in Trinidad, any bad habits, man. Made out of wild drum with one beaten down and divided by grooves into sections to give different notes, man. There, that's that sorted. No need to thank me. I had nothing else to tell you today, also other than to send you some very bold jokes, some of which you've already told on this programme. Now, here's a serious matter. I've been asked by a friend of mine to announce a gentleman who's gone missing. His name is Ewan Copland, Ewan Copland. He's a native of Glasgow. He's 30 years old. He disappeared on Tuesday, the 17th of January. He's 30 years old, a skinhead. He's got sideburns, though probably unshaven looking by this point. He's 5'11", slim build, dark rimmed glasses, very distinctive hand tattoos. He's wearing a black Harrington Psycho Skin hoodie, blue jeans, black and white Adidas trainers, white socks, and a black flat cap. He was last seen, this is serious, last seen in Orangefield at 1 o'clock last Sunday. His last Facebook contact was 6 o'clock last Sunday, approximately via mobile. Last contact was via mobile approximately 20 minutes past Sunday on his way to meet friends at the Albert Clock for band practice. He didn't show up. We're hoping he's just drinking and scared to come home, but the lack of contact for so long now has everyone very concerned. Police are aware and are doing what they can. Please announce this if you can. Yeah. Anyone who sees someone like that or that rings a bell, please give the police a ring. Lisburn Road, PSNI. That's the gentleman who's missing. I hope he's okay.
Jonathan contacts you, and
Yes.
He's worried about. What he says here is, have you any idea what the horrific banging sound coming from Belfast docks is? All the best. This is from Jonathan. We can't hear it.
They're probably filming the reconstruction of the Titanic, because apparently that was the loudest sound in the world.
What?
When the people were building the Titanic, there's a book written by, I can't remember the guy's name, Philson Young, and he wrote it in 1912. And it was about the building of the Titanic. And he said, if you came up Belfast Lough in a boat, up round to the point where the Titanic was being built, there was a scene that resembled hell. It was the Titanic, the scaffolding around it, and all the thousands of riveters and workers all hammering at the same time. Apparently there was nothing in this world like the sound of that. But imagine that would be the sound of any large boat, but this is the biggest one. So the biggest amount of noise probably ever heard in Harland and Wolff shipyard, or probably heard anywhere else in the world, was during the course of the building of the Titanic. Can you imagine how many
You'd
men
never
were
think
working
about
on it?
that, would you?
No.
Never thought about that.
I'm doing a documentary about the Titanic for Radio 4, and that's one of the things that I've kind of unearthed. The sound of it being built. You don't think of that.
Very good. Oh, there's a wee call for you.
This is going to be deteriorating as the programme goes on.
But what are you doing now about Titanic? What more can you do?
Well, the theme of our programme is basically what the people in Belfast thought before and after.
But there been nobody around before.
I know, but there are people who are related to them, see, because there was a lot of shame attached to the Titanic.
Because she went down?
Absolutely, yeah, because you must remember the times that were in it. You know, these were an awkward political time, and people thought it was a reflection upon the workmanship.
Like shoddy workmanship?
Well, there was always that suspicion.
Surely not.
No, but people didn't want that to be even considered. Do you know what I mean? Even though there were no accusations. No. I mean, even today, when I talk to people, particularly who were involved in whose grandparents or whatever were involved in the making of Titanic, they always say the same thing. What is it they always say?
I don't know, but surely it was nothing but the best went into the Titanic.
Yes, but they always use the same phrase. And it's a very revealing phrase, and it's tinged with, apprehension and a little defensive. What do they always say about the Titanic? It was all right, but it left here.
All right.
No, but that's a very interesting phrase, because everybody said, it was all right when it left here.
Yeah.
In other words, it wasn't our fault. And people feel very strongly that, because it was built in Belfast, that, it was somehow a reflection on the working man, that kind of thing. But it's a very interesting way to look at that. And that only, do you know when that changed?
No.
Only with the making of the movie. I remember doing another documentary about the Belfast docks years ago, before the Titanic, the movie with James Cameron. Mm-hmm. And I remember being down in the place where the Titanic was built. And I looked over at this wall and I saw a lot of commotion, right? Mm-hmm. And I went over and I looked, and it was about 40 tourists. They were Japanese.
Yeah.
And they were jumping up trying to look over the wall. They weren't allowed in. They weren't allowed in.
But all that's changed now, hasn't it?
Exactly, but it's only changed recently. It's only changed recently. Yeah, and that's what the programme's about how that changed and what it was like then, how people were defensive about it and why.
Yeah. Mark, the truck driver, says that the building at the docks, they're putting in pylons into the ground at Belfast Dock. It's going to last for 2 weeks, apparently. That's the noise.
There's another big hole in Derry, Stoke London, Derry. Another building has fallen down. Have you seen that? Have you been over there to look? At the end of the Craigavon Bridge, there's two big holes.
Another one?
Yeah, there's two
What
holes.
is another
I'm
one?
going to call it the Holy City. Hello, good morning.
Oh, yes, good day.
Oh, what about you? Hello? What about you? Hello, yes? Can I ask you, do you have a radio on?
I have, indeed.
Can I ask you if you wouldn't mind maybe turning it off, because it affects, that's much better. Thank you. What can we do for you today?
Is that better now?
It's much better, thank you.
I was on me a long time ago
Yes?
about looking a book, but I got my book back, but this is a wee yarn. You were telling yarns a while ago.
Yes?
Right?
Yes? And what kind of a yarn was it? Were you looking for a yarn, or were you looking to tell a yarn?
Oh, I'm going to tell you a yarn now. Paddy, that lives beside me here in Warrenstown.
Yes?
He was in the war. I got the leg blew off, just below the knee.
Yes?
I went to the doctors. Well, Paddy, give me something for the pain, doctor.
Yes.
Give me something for the pain.
Uh-huh.
So he gave him tablets, injected him, and this went on for years and years. And he finally died.
Yes.
I buried up in the local churchyard here.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all right. A lot of weeks later, the doctor died.
Uh-huh.
And lo and behold, he is buried just in the next plot beside Paddy.
Coincidence, yeah.
Boy, he says it's great to get land back here. Worked hard all my life. This is powerful.
Who said this, the corpse?
But a lot of months later, he heard this knock, knock, knock on the coffin.
Uh-huh.
He says, who is that? Look, I've helped people all my life. He says, it's me, Paddy. Paddy, I was sick looking at you coming in every day. What the hell's wrong with you now? He says, doctor, would you have anything for worms? All right.
I like that.
Feeling for worms? That's a good Roy
good.
Walker one.
Yeah, it's good.
That's a good one for Roy
Yeah,
Walker.
it is indeed. Isn't it?
We're back with Snow Patrol again. This is Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chasing Cars, from their album Music for the Kilted Generation. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chasing Cars, Snow Patrol from music from the Kilted Generation. Michelle writes to me and said, I've lost count the number of times people have said that my daughter is the image of me. I don't mind that, except when they say, yeah, but at least she's got her health. Anyway, that's neither. Gerry, it's the new wind turbine manufacturing docks being built. The banging noises in Harland and Wolff are the piling rigs hammering concrete piles into the ground. Here's a last thing before we go. Complete this joke.
Right.
A man walks into a bar with a roll of tarmac under his arm. What does he order?
A black and tan.
No, a pint, please, and one for the road. Back tomorrow.
That's good.
How low is that?